The Leo King will be live shortly. Please hold on while the collective consciousness loads, and thank you for being a part of the Leo Kingdom. The Leo King will be live shortly. Please hold on while the collective consciousness loads, and thank you for being a part of the Leo Kingdom. The Leo King will be live shortly. Please hold on while the collective consciousness loads, and thank you for being a part of the Leo Kingdom. The Leo King will be live shortly. Please hold on while the collective consciousness loads, and thank you for being a part of the Leo Kingdom. The Leo King will be live shortly. Please hold on while the collective consciousness loads, and thank you for being a part of the Leo Kingdom.
Yo, what's going on, everyone? It is David Palmer, the Leo King, and we are here live for Deep Astrology, your weekly astrology forecast for the week of July 30th through August the 5th of 2019. Make sure you say rabbit, rabbit on that August 1st. You all know what that means. Anyway, if you never watched this show before, it's brought to you by highvibe.tv. And we always do this show for free, but I'm always asking people for support to keep this on the air by checking out highvibe.tv. We have apps, we have a website, we have awesome free content. And of course, you can subscribe for the price of a smoothie for the month. And you can get my daily video horoscopes, my weekly sun sign horoscopes, my weekly intuitive, my weekly tarot, and all the other amazing talent that is on highvibe.tv and all the awesome content that we bring. Check it out now at highvibe.tv. You can even buy just a video independently, just on its own, to support us. And of course, if you've never watched the show before, this is where I channel the astrology of the week from you, bring it to you raw, uncut, and deep. And then, of course, we go deep into the charts, which are brought to you by Astro Gold. You can get that on iOS, Android, and of course on your MacBook Pro or on your iMac. Or if you're on PC, head on over to SolarFire, same company. We have got a lot to talk about this week because I'm sure that you are all at the edge of your seat. We are just to the edge of the end of all of these eclipse energies with a Mercury retrograde. And this has been a long Mercury retrograde, the longest it could be. This has been a 24-day retrograde. And tomorrow on Wednesday, the 31st, we have a new moon in Leo with Mercury coming out of retrograde to talk about a huge shift in energy. The main thing is to remember not to freak out before something like this. A dark moon in Cancer with Mercury retrograde and moon in Rahu and then moon opposed Saturn and Pluto. And then you got to remember that Mars has been in a yacht in Leo. So Mars is in Leo trying to charge us forward into our heart. We can feel the excitement. The sun's in Leo. Venus is in Leo. There's all this yay, but then there's all this like, oh, this old emotional weird stuff coming up and tired and I just want to rest and everything has just gone weird and but it's been clearing the past. Think of this. We are so lucky at this moment right now, especially if you've been doing the work, because the last month brought up everything to a pinnacle point in your life of what is not feeling emotionally correct in your true sovereign self and in your soul. And this Mercury retrograde made sure that you double checked that list like Santa Claus and was like, okay, is this on the nice list or is this on the naughty list? Does this feel good in my life or not? That kid ain't getting no toys. No, I'm just kidding. Well, maybe Saturn in the South Node in Capricorn would do that. But this has been a time where we had to face off, remember, with these eclipses to that opposition to Saturn, to that opposition to Pluto. And then, of course, Mercury retrograde stopping at the degree where we had the lunar eclipse on top of Saturn and Pluto. So, yeah, this has been a definite weird Mercury retrograde. I have had more crazy crap happen to me. It's insane. I'm surprised we all made it through. I'm just joking. But, you know, this has been a time where we have had to go inside and look at, remember, Mercury started its retrograde at 4 degrees with Mars, by the way, that was on top of it. It's a little bit kind of like a, you know, over-toxified masculine energy on top of Mercury, like forcing, I need to figure this out. So Mercury went into this retrograde like, okay, I will figure it out. And with a lot of pressure, though. And what are we figuring out? You know, our happiness, our true feelings, what is not in alignment with our ability to feel love, to feel all this true emission. But that Mars at 18 degrees has been in a yod to Neptune and in a yod to the South Node, and you can even include Saturn. But Saturn's been kind of moving quick here in the retrograde. And a yod is a finger of God. And his finger's been pointing at Mars and Leo to have courage. This is courage to get through those emotional stuff. You know, another part of this too with Mercury, you need to remember that Mercury is hermetic. And astrology is hermetic, alchemy is based off hermetic principles. And that is not an emotional energy, because when we come into hermetic alchemy and we understand the aspect of what Mercury means, is to be able to be aware of both sides of life and to not get too emotional. But when Mercury comes into retrograde into a water sign, especially Cancer, where it gets into the past and it gets into our connections emotionally, it gets into our roots, it gets into our foundation of what we've emotionally connected with. And remember, Mercury passed over Venus last week in retrograde. So that brought up relationships and, you know, this really intense aspect of career aspects, especially because we have Saturn in Capricorn with South Node, and then relationships. Where do these all fall in? And threw everyone for a tizzy. And now we are coming out of that energy this week. Woo! Thank you. Now the good news, we got this new moon in Leo. With this new moon in Leo, this is really positive. Now, some people call this the Lion's Gate. I'm just here to tell you all, every time the sun's in Leo and there's a new moon, you're going to see all these people do all these things about Lion's Gate. You know what? It's always a freaking Lion's Gate whenever there's a new moon in Leo or when there's a bunch of Leo energy. So just remember that this is... People get too lost in these like identifications outside of just what the astrology is. Sure, this is a gateway to being your courageous self. Courage is not the kind of courage, though, in Aries that we get. In Leo, courage is the courage to love, the courage to be happy, the courage to do what our true, real soul wants to express. And you know what? We have been through a lot, because remember last year, Mars was retrograde at this time in Aquarius, which is, you know, us worrying about what other people think or afraid to maybe do what we want to express because it might affect somebody else. But you know what? This is a time with this Cancer energy and this Leo energy about putting yourself in your sovereign true self. These are the two signs that rule the luminaries, the sun and the moon. And with this North Node as well in Cancer and still in opposition to Saturn, and with the South Node and Saturn still there, we've got to continue to follow our emotional truth and needs. And last week, and I just put it on my Instagram, I don't know if y'all checked it out, it did get a lot of views and a lot of shares, and I got a lot of comments from it. But I told people, if anything is not connecting with you emotionally and does not feel right, and either comes out of your life or it just kind of does something crazy, that is kind of a dark vibe. Like, and it's okay, and just like give it some love and high vibe out of there. And this is a time with this new moon in Leo to be like, you know what, my creativity, my life force, we got Venus on the butt of the sun, ready to come into this very powerful Kazini aspect where it starts to burn the energy of Venus, and Venus is already the hottest planet. Why do you think women rule Venus, right? They are hot. They're spicy. They got lots of energy. And that is if you were to go to Venus, it is so hot there, you would just melt. And when you get it in Leo, why do you think Venus in Leo is about the melting heart of love and ecstasy? Roll out the carpet of ecstasy and just, That's what this time's about. But if you didn't do the work over this last month in the eclipse cycle, guess what? It's not going to be easy to feel that ecstasy when you're walking on the red carpet next to someone or doing some path in your life that doesn't feel right to you, and when the cameras come on, you're like, I don't want to be seen. That's one truth about Leo. I have Mercury in Leo. I have Sun in Leo. I have Rising Leo. I have Venus Leo. I have Juno Leo. We do have Juno in Leo too. We'll talk about that in the charts. If I am on a red carpet and there is somebody next to me and it doesn't feel like I want it to be seen or anything, I won't walk the red carpet. I'll be like, hey, don't you need to go do something? And then when they leave, I'm like on the red carpet, like, bam! You know what I mean? This is Leo. This is where you want to shine at your best and shine how you really are. And this is about not suppressing yourself. Because suppression is big with this yod to Mars. Neptune quincunx over to Mars. Suppression of like, oh man, it is sensitive to do my true, authentic identity of heart. It gets backlash in today's society with Jupiter that's squaring Neptune, right? Like people almost are having all these weird belief systems, and if you come across a certain way, or if you come across too intense, or you come across too bright, everybody's putting their sunscreen on. Ah! You know what I mean? Or in China, they wear those crazy, what do you call them? Those crazy bikini slash, I don't even know. They just look like wetsuits, but they're bathing suits and they have the face mask on. They don't want to see the sun. So some people don't want to see that brightness. But does that stop you from being that brightness? No. Remember, Uranus is still direct. At least we still got a planet direct here. I mean, of course, the personal planets, you know, like Venus and Mars are still going forward. But Mercury coming out of its retrograde is finally going to give us, okay, I have triple million trillion times checked over my emotional truth and foundation and what feels right. And if you are going to continue through this new moon in Leo to try and go backwards and try and fix something that has either left your life or that you have constantly been doing and it doesn't keep going forward, it is going to be a shock this week. Venus in Leo is going to square Uranus. This is where only the best feelings that move us forward, Uranus and Taurus. Remember, Taurus is all about feeling the best of the best and feeling the quality of things and the dignity and honor of that value in self. And the expression of Uranus is definitely in Taurus one where it's like, I got to figure out a way to do and feel what feels the best for me. And that Venus in Leo wants that true feeling of whether you call that ecstasy or whether you call that love or that true happiness. But this is a lot of planets in their dignity. The sun's in its dignity, Saturn's in its dignity, Neptune's in its dignity, Jupiter's in its dignity. And we just are finishing with the dark moon in its dignity. When you get all this dignified energy, this is like potent. So what you decide to manifest in your life, it gives it life. I'm going to use kind of a crazy analogy. Like this is really like powerful sperm. Like be careful, you know what I mean? Because woo! If you just put that thing anywhere, it'll freaking turn into something. You don't want to turn into, I don't know, now I'm going to go crazy, but it's a little bit like, have you ever seen Prometheus yet? Or have you ever seen Alien Covenant, the prequels to Alien? When they start, you start mixing these energies and creating weird energies, and then aliens pop up, and then the alien eats that alien, and then it injects into that one, and it turns into a predator, and like, do you want to do with that Pluto-Saturn there? Do you want to impregnate an alien baby and have that come out of your stomach? Because that's not who you are. It's not your emotional truth. And you're going to follow the Pluto and Saturn facade of the manipulation that, oh, I need to stay on track here with this thing that is not truly who I really am. Alien babies will be blown out of people's stomachs. That's not a fun feeling. I never have had to go through that yet, but I'm trying to steer people away from that. I know it's very visual, but holy cow. Especially if you've watched Prometheus, she has to go into the whole entire thing, and they have to she goes, oh, it's made for men only. Uh-oh, well, you can't do pregnancy. Foreign object in abdomen, pull it out. Foreign entities, Uranus, square the Venus. Anything that is just not feeling connected and foreign, do you really want to impregnate that with all this potent energy right now in your life? And what's scary about this, because it deals with very personal energy with this Mercury coming out of retrograde over the eclipse spot of the lunar eclipse with Pluto and Saturn, and with Mars this week starting to make big quincunx to Pluto. Ooh, Mars and Pluto, they like each other, but in quincunx and Leo and Capricorn, definitely they can get what they want, but oh man. Are you going to start using that control, and are you going to put your love into things that just don't really align? And this is what you have to see is you got to go look in the mirror for a second. And I'm asking everybody this week, to spend 5 minutes in the mirror and look at yourself. And especially with this Mercury coming direct, maybe even look on your Instagram, look on your Facebook, and look back at who you've been through your life and how you've morphed into who you are right now. And ask yourself and find those times in your life when you felt that you were on. And don't connect it with a relationship either, because remember, then that can confuse things. We're talking about your independent, sovereign light of yourself. For me, I look at pictures when I was in my 20s, and I was just free and fancy and clear, and I was just having a great time, and I was living my heart, and I was out doing dance music all the time and talking astrology. And you know what? I'm right back to that place. Everything in my life that just did not work out, just got kicked out, and I'm not trying to go fix that. I learned that with Uranus square the Sun, for me, for the last 2 years. And I'm trying to help people usher on that this week is beautiful. This is about creation, but the scary part of creation is you can create anything, like alien babies coming out of your stomach. Yeah, that's a good visual. I like that one. Looking forward as well, too, as Venus squares Uranus, we get through that. We're going to get the moon after it comes through this new moon cycle and sets this month of intention. Because what happens during this month of this new moon in Leo? Oh, we're going to get the sun and Venus to conjunct. Oh, we're going to get Mars coming across, which, by the way, as we're speaking tonight, Mars is crossing over this 18-degree spot where the yod is formed exactly last year on August 12th, where the solar eclipse in Leo was. So in many ways, that this new moon not only just cut off the eclipse cycle of the last month, but it also, with Mars now crossing over this place, has cut up the eclipse cycle of last year. And so now we can start to build from now. And all the things as well, from the Mars retrograde last year that was on June 26th, remember that happened at 9 degrees Aquarius. Mars is now past 9 degrees. And this week, holy moly, a new moon at 8 degrees going to 9 degrees, and we can say that we are out of the craziness of last year. If you have made your cuts, and that's what Uranus is about. Letting go. Now, it's different than Neptune, which is a much more like, let me let go, child, and let me get on my hands and knees and do this graceful, compassionate let go. Uranus is kind of like, later. You know, like, I'm out of here. Makes no sense. And I think that, you know what, especially in Taurus, there's a little bit of pompous attitude about it, about like rebuilding your confidence and your value in yourself. Be like, yeah, like, this ain't even worth it. What am I doing here? Like, come on, let's go this way, you know? It's like, moo, moo, let's go. Have you ever noticed how cows like build up and like they're in their fields and they do their things? You know they're all talking to each other like, the real good grass is over there, you know? And it takes them a while to get there. So remember, this has maybe been a long time coming for you with a lot of things trying to come to these completion cycles and ends and revolutions, because when it's in Taurus, it's a lot slower. But just know that nothing stops a bull, all right? And there's something about this Leo energy this week that comes in with the new moon, which is technically square Uranus, which is, am I going to build something fully new with a new moon and with it squaring Uranus? Am I going to go backwards or am I going to go forward? We talked about that last week, but now this becomes like set in stone. The eclipses are closed, so you can't go back into that fair. Sorry, like they were closed. And this kind of brings people to this weird point this week of like, uh-oh, like, okay, like, I got to move forward into better energy and not be afraid to go feel good. People are afraid to feel good now. It's almost like all these blocks, especially last year and the year before that. Remember, with Mars right now getting closer and closer to the edge of Leo, that is the last big Leo eclipse at 28 degrees. That 28 degrees total solar eclipse that happened on August 21st, 2017, we are just so close to cutting that one off. And so this Uranian energy is strong because it's coming to where the electricity is at its peaking before it has to go, zoop, turn it off before it blows. And it's getting amplified as Jupiter is stopping right now. And next week, on August 11th, Jupiter comes direct. And this whole week, as the sun and the moon coming to a new moon, and then the sun starts moving forward, and Mars is moving forward, and more importantly, even Venus is moving forward. We're getting ready for the trines to Jupiter with the sun. My favorite in all astrology is Sun trine Jupiter. And when Jupiter's in its home sign, now this happens next week on Tuesday, but I am going to tell you that you're going to see this whole week after Wednesday is all moving towards doors opening. Now these doors opening will only work for those that really are moving forward and allowing whatever that you had valued at one time that might have been kicked out of your life to not be a hoarder. You're not going to be able to take something that doesn't work onto this big new road of happiness. Mars and Pluto are going to be in a perfect quincunx, and this is where we can activate some extreme power in our lives with all these aspects. So this can be very creative and very positive. And Mars and Juno. Mars is going to be humping Juno. There's just something about Mars Juno that feels really weird to me. I have Venus Juno, so it makes a little bit more sense, but in my chart, but in Leo. But like Mars Juno, just to me, just kind of seems like come here, like rah, you know. And there's a lot of that when it comes to love and connection, of wanting that pure, you know. And Juno, we always look at it as like the kind of partner that we want in our life. And with Venus and the Sun and Venus square Uranus, there is a lot of excitement here, but also can be a lot of chaos if you're still attached to old ways of approaching relationships, or even old relationships that are no longer moving forward, and letting that go and allowing yourself to not do this whole like, well, I got to take my time and I got to, you know what? Like this is a time where this is the universe kind of kicking things out and kicking things in. So you can't be afraid about feeling, because I'm going to be very blunt before we go into these charts. After this Leo season, after this Virgo season, we come into the opposite of all this dignified energy, and we start to see things go into fall and detriment and and then as we climb into the fall, it just starts getting more and more towards this intense Saturn and Pluto. So this is the moment, folks. This is going to be the best moments of the year. This next couple, like I would say 6 weeks. So if you want to just go have the most amazing feeling and appreciate the life and the love now is the time. This is also a new moon trining over to the star Antares and sextiling to Aldebaran. This is a huge moment, folks. Antares is 700 times the size of our own sun in Sagittarius. And in Sidereal, it's in Scorpio, which gives the redness of the root chakra of Scorpio. So talk about some root energy coming up this week with the heart. Whoo! What do you think creates power and love and connection? And if you're going to deny yourself of that in a project, your creativity, relationships, and anything, and just sit on the sidelines and keep looking at the past after Mercury just went retrograde in Cancer, and that's all it's been doing is just, oh yeah, that's what happened, and that's what happened, and oh my God, and that's what happened too. Now we gotta look this way and be like, holy shit, what feels good? You know, what feels great? So don't waste it, please. Because then the moon comes into Virgo and we can get some shit done. With the trine to Uranus, with the trines over to Pluto, Saturn, we can get some stuff done in creative aspects. We can get some new lives rolling this week. We can get some new energy rolling all over the place. And we get that Sun-Jupiter thing building up. We get that Sun-Venus-Jupiter thing building up. This is positive. And you don't want to waste it. And you get Mars on top of Juno, like, bah! I'll make some drawings on that one here in the charts in a second. And I'd say that the last thing, I mean, there's so much in the astrology, it's like, well, what do I want to do? What? I can't miss nothing. But it's just like, when you look at it, remember, right now, all these beautiful planets are all in these beautiful signs right now, dealing with the positive, the more youthful aspect of life. But that's Saturn and Pluto and Neptune, you know, they're down there, and that's what we can see in the sky. Although we can't see Neptune, we can't see Pluto, but we can see Saturn. We can see Jupiter too. It's in a positive sign, it's in its home sign, but headed towards Capricorn, its fall position. So this is like this moment to radically come into amazing, beautiful aspects. And we cannot waste it because Saturn and Pluto don't want to waste time. And this is definitely not a time. I'm going to use time so many times. Because I did a live on Instagram last night, and a lot of you all, thank you so much for joining me on that one. Because time is an illusion. And one thing about this Leo energy is remembering that you have a unique code, a unique light that beams out. We are all our own little suns beaming out of our souls in this life. And to get to the higher realms and to the higher places with Uranus and Taurus, you are already pre-built with a key. It's not like you have to go to the locksmith and be like, hey, can you redo my key for me, please? You are it already if you're fully in it. And to pass through these crazy doorways into higher realms, you cannot sacrifice your true core and self. Because when you arrive to these doorways and you arrive to these higher realms, it's like putting your thumbprint like a fingerprint scanner. The universe and the new universe that's being built right now is waiting for you, and it already has a locker, whatever you want to call it, with your own key. It's already got your position in your life of how to be. And when you walk through there, it's because you're in your true form. But the energies of Saturn and Pluto in the South Node right now are creating this crazy reality that people are like suppressing themselves and trying to be normal and trying to follow these unwritten laws. You don't need to break no laws. But these are these unwritten laws of, well, I should probably be more normal. I should probably present myself this way. I should probably, oh my gosh, when you're that, guess what? Key's not working. Because that light now is now shifting into what everybody else is doing and what the society is doing and what the rules of this unwritten rules of how to live and how to be and how you should. And there's the manipulation of Pluto right behind Saturn. Pluto is doing this with Saturn, and Saturn's going to meet up with Pluto, and Pluto's going to January 10th through 12th of 2020. Just saying. All right, let's do the charts. So right now I'm not really feeling that great because I'm having an alien baby! Oh my gosh! Don't be having no alien babies, people! I know some of the people in the spiritual community love aliens and they're waiting to get impregnated by an alien, but I'm telling you right now, be careful. This is definitely not time for those alien babies. Saturn and Pluto and Capricorn are those weird looking ones with the weird elongated head. And like, if you watch Prometheus, go watch Prometheus. Go watch Prometheus. The humans that created the humans in that movie were set up to when the humans became aware enough that they would go there, that they would send these crazy, not bombs, but bombs of weird, creepy aliens to take us over like bugs and create us into these dark beings. And that shit's going around. I promise to only scare you one more time with Alien Baby, and you don't know when that's coming out. Let's take a look at these charts, everyone, for today, July 30th, the last day of Mercury retrograde. Yes, I am a little crazy. How ironic that the moon, dark. See this sun, 7 degrees. Here's this moon, dark. Remember, a dark moon is within 30 degrees. We call that the balsamic phase of the moon. With this moon over Mercury retrograde, and remember, the moon just met up with the North Node Rahu, okay? That's a very harsh alignment. And it made oppositions to Saturn, South Node, and Pluto. So, oh my gosh! Yeah, people freak out during a dark moon, and then people freak out. Am I going to be able to get where I need to go? And is everything going to work out? And am I going to get what I need? Am I going to be stable? Am I going to be able to get? Oh my gosh, yes you are. Just as long as you are showing up, you're yourself, you're in your light, you're in positivity, you're in happiness, you're laughing, you're in love, you're having love for yourself, you love who you are, you're good. I know that sounds simple, but it's pretty simple. So, this day is about us clearing and getting ready for this new moon energy. And remember, this moon's going to pass over Venus and Leo. Woo! Woo! Talk about Wednesday. We'll get there in a second. I'm already getting all excited. Don't get me too excited. We also got Venus, remember, getting ready to trine over to Chiron. And then that Venus over to Uranus. We'll show you that here in a second. But I want to show you the Yod, the finger of God. All right. There's that in conjunct. Here's this. This is this other one here. And we got this nice sextile between the South Node and Neptune, creating a Yod to Mars and Juno. And so Yods are very difficult, but also beautiful, because there is the sextile of, if we are on our spiritual mission, it's not going to feel easy, because we are going to have to fully embody the identification of our true, unique code of love. And with Juno there, Juno and Venus are hanging out, Juno and Mars are hanging out. There's a little bit of like like not only you, but also this part of you that you know of how you are to people that you connect the best with in yourself. So there is this, like, you have to be fully, really you. Like, you can't be faltering the codes or be like trying to shift your code for especially someone else or some other situation, because with Venus square Uranus, that's where people try to help people or fix situations that they probably shouldn't, or they try and go backwards and try and fix something and it's broken. Like, trust me, I use the analogy of the meth head TV that's broken and trying to fix it, because I've seen that happen in real life, and it is not a pretty sight. And it's not something that's going to break your code of yourself. And so in order for us to follow what God is pointing, is to be, and this is what's hard. Mars, it has an ego energy. Mars in Leo has an ego and a dramatic flair. Where's your dramatic flair? And it goes against that whole Capricorn Saturn of like, no, restrict, be part of the reality. And with Pluto there, it's a little bit of a reptilian, like, no, you must do it this way. You can't be too bright. It's like taking a shit on the toilet, like yelling like a big reptilian, no! Ah! There's a preparation H. And with Neptune, there's also that whole aspect of like, well, are you really being spiritual by being so, like, dramatic and in love? It's like, yeah. Remember, Neptune, that aren't you one that wants to do the arts and music anyway? What creates a rock star? What creates a pop star? What creates you being in your happiness and your love and excitement? What creates is imagination. Don't forget about that, Neptune, that the spiritual journey is allowed to be popular and fun and exciting and imaginative. Oh yeah, I forgot. So this Mars is trying to, it's getting aspected by these really gnarly aspects, and that's what a finger of God is. I have 3 in my chart, so my life is crazy. One thing also as well is when you get into Yods, it kind of feels like you're like kind of right when you get something done, then like an alarm goes off, and then right when you're like, for me, it's always when I'm going to bed, I'm like, oh, I set my alarm, everything. It's like, oh, I forgot my water. And then I might get up and then I go back to bed, and then it's like, beep, beep, oh, the dryer's going off, I forgot to put it on mute. It can make you feel a little bit like, where am I going? And right when this happens, how did that happen? That's Yods. And with Mars there, as you're trying to move forward, it's always going to be like, oh, wait, hold on one second. Hold on, this is happening. Oh, my timing is off. Oh, with Saturn, and with Neptune there. Oh, wait, hold on, I'm a little distracted, or I'm a little sensitive about this. Oh, wait, hold on. It's a little, woo. And you're probably getting all crazy with me already there. So just know that this dark moon, that's what this was about. It's over. Soon. Some people might be, as they're watching right now, freaking, you already scared me with the alien baby thing. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so let's take a look at July 31st, Wednesday, which I am really looking forward to this day for the collective. Myself, it'll be an interesting one. But this is going to be interesting. This is going to be Mercury exactly coming stationary direct at 2356 Cancer. So hallelujah, Mercury retrograde is over. Mercury direct. All right, that was a long Mercury retrograde, by the way, folks. A long one. That was 24 days. It was over 3 weeks. That was a long one. I pretty much got to the longest that it could be based upon the way that we are at with this nodal aspect here and so forth. This was a intense Mercury retrograde also happening with the Cassini point at the end of Cancer. So it almost, brought up just so many old emotions that just needed to be cleared out. But the new moon here at 8 degrees of Leo, but I wanted to show you right after the new moon hits, literally, it's like, I think an hour after Mercury comes direct, or it's like within the hour. So Mercury comes direct, the new moon happens at 8, and we move to this 9. And the reason why I want to show you this 9 is because that's exactly where Mars went retrograde last year, okay, at 9 Aquarius. So everything keeps coming about this 9. We had Mars at 9. Now that's been done in the opposition. Remember that last year's solar eclipse I brought up, if you watch the beginning of Deep Astrology, was at 18 Leo on August 12th. That one is done from last year, now that Mars is past 18 degrees. And look at this Mars humping Juno. Wish I could do some like, wow, what you got, wow, wow. So we are wanting to have Juno, this beautiful goddess energy of like, it's like the perfect wife, I guess you could call it. There's a lot of ways to look at Juno, but it's like, oh yeah. And for ladies, it'd be like the perfect dude or whatever you're into, the perfect that, and that's what I want, And a lot of that going on. Look at how much Leo, and Venus in Leo is very happy in Leo. Definitely wants to be social. It wants to be extravagant though, so it's got to show up. It's got to show up and show its hotness. Like, trust me, my hair is not perfect today, but you know what? I know that it's not about my hair. I know that it's about me having alien babies that makes everybody turned on and happy. That's exactly what it is, because that's what Leo is about. It's not about the physical. It's about the heart and the drama and the flair and the love and the positivity that comes out. But if you're afraid to show up with that in relationships and projects and creativity right now, if you're just like in this down state, that's going to be a really positive thing that you're putting out there. Oh, that's going to be a really nice relationship that you're entering into. Really, really nice. So the good news, this new moon is cutting off last year's Mars retrograde. And that after this point right here, we are all moving forward here. Okay. And now Mercury is the caboose, which I think is funny. Mercury is like at the back, kind of trailing in a caboose, kind of like, oh yeah, I did go backwards. I'm still in Cancer. I shouldn't probably keep thinking about all these past things. I should probably think about this happiness and be the crab that's gonna get in the sun and feel good. So there's a lot of positive things here, but look at that Venus trining Chiron on the new moon. We have to heal these old things that didn't work out, that our ego wanted, with love, okay? So it's like, okay, we wanted it to probably at this point in our life look this way when it comes to relationships and money and our values and all that stuff. Let's heal that by realizing that with the square to Uranus, which is going to happen right after this new moon, Venus at 5, then going to 6 the next day, but with that square to Uranus, realizing that we're learning this new way to come into a better life, this new way to find different skills. And sometimes in life, it doesn't go the way that we want to. And Chiron in Aries teaches us that. And the last time Chiron was in Aries, was 69 into 70, 71, 72, 73. Why do you think that people started kind of going all freaky deaky with their ideas of like how things should look? I've said this plenty of times, like how many 70s cars do you see on the road? Like you'll see 60s, you'll see 80s, you'll see 50s. At car shows, you very rarely see 70s. It's because there was that Chiron, that weird vibe of like, what was that came out? Shag carpet? The 70s show was kind of cool for a minute. You know what I mean? So Chiron in Aries is definitely this weirdo, but it is teaching us to let go of the identification of how we want it to look. And if you notice about the 70s, people like forced everything on identification of things. Like, because I have long hair, I am cool. It's like, oh, I didn't know that, Scam likely. So this is a point for us to not allow ourselves to feel about what didn't work or show up the way we thought it would, but to feel the happiness and the joy and heal by going, you know what? look at it, didn't go that way because look what popped out. A better road, a better understanding, a better way. And if we're in our code of ourself and our true heart, then we're going to slip right through this like a little fish up into a new little hole that goes out into a bigger, more brighter Little Nemo world or something. Even though I've never watched Little Nemo, but lots of people like Little Nemo. So this new moon's really positive. As we move on to August 1st, remember to say rabbit, rabbit, because it brings good luck. It's an old, I don't know what year it started, but you always say it is the first thing that you do when you wake up. And I want to tell you all why, because when you wake up in the morning, you don't want to have an alien baby! Sorry. Oh, you want to say rabbit, rabbit, so you don't have any alien babies all month of August. And I'm going to go into this alien baby thing because people are probably like, you're a little obsessed with it. This Pluto-Saturn here is getting gnarly, okay? It's in retrograde. They're starting to split apart. And so people get a little bit lackadaisical when it comes to allowing some dark energy to come in because the strain is going to be less during August because they're not coming direct for a while. Saturn's not coming direct till September 18th. Pluto's not coming direct until October 3rd. So this is going to get more and more and more apart. And with all this positive energy going on in Leo and with Mercury out of retrograde, and we're coming into all these great energies, the discernment of what you can do. Remember I talked about this whole thing when it comes to dignified positions. The sun is dignified, Jupiter is dignified, Saturn's dignified, and Neptune's dignified, okay? So Venus is happy in Leo, Mars is happy in Leo. There's a lot of happy energy around. But as this excitement happens and the moon conjuncts Mars and Juno, this is kind of interesting, this alignment right here. There's this thing about Thursday about really emotionally starting to feel happy and positive and what we can achieve to feel good. And with this Venus, though, square Uranus, that's going to be growing on Thursday. This is like new shift in directions with projects and relationships, and they can be very positive. But you also don't want to bring in any crazy, weird, foreign energies that are going to impregnate your soul with alien babies. Because this lackadaisical now 6-degree orb is now starting to be like, yeah, we're good. We're starting to feel real good. That sun at 9, that'll be opposing that end of that Mars retrograde, so we're getting out of that. Venus, but look at this Jupiter, it's now at that 14-degree mark. It's not going to go much farther. And here's that sun now. Jupiter, remember, is the biggest planet. That orb, okay, of Jupiter is kind of like, even though it's 14 degrees, it's like more than 3-degree orb. I'd give it like a 5-degree orb, like roar. Some people even give it like Saturn 10. So you could even give Jupiter 10. You know what I mean? So we're coming into the orb of Jupiter's big energy and trine and fire. And so I think that it's like we start to see all these positives, but it's like if you're going to do this Venus square Uranus thing and try and fix something that's, foreign and not really feeling the best, they're not showing up with that true Taurus-like value, and they're also not showing up with integrity, especially with this Saturn South Node. It's an ultimate test of spiritual integrity. We could get some shocks, though, and awes with Uranus square Venus, of course, here on Thursday and into Friday, because there is this element of, things to shock us to do better. People could try and project some sort of thing on you or throw something at you or throw you for a tailspin and tell you, oh, no. They're just like in a frenzy trying to fix something. Like, oh, no. And just know that people are just in a frenzy trying to fix things. So if you have some ex from the past that's in some swamp and creeping out of the swamp and like, I want it back, it's like, no, it's cool. No, I know what's there. You already know. Mercury's out of retrograde. So, or energies that just kind of come out of nowhere that try and maybe say, I know what's better for you, I know what's better for you, I know what's better for you. Like, hold on a second. Are you trying to change my fucking code? Of course, it's good to learn from Uranus and Taurus about how to be better with the code, but not change the code completely or even at all, but making the code just better at being the code of yourself. And if Uranus rules relationships, and so does Venus. So when you get Venus and Uranus in a square, yeah, this deals with lots of different people and who really is on the same code and the same frequency. Uranus rules frequencies. And who is trying to change the frequency code within yourself and then makes you feel like, well, in order to have this, I'm going to have to do this or I'm going to have to do that. And I don't really want to do that. Like, okay, then that's how you know. And then it's like, just know that anybody trying to force anything on you, especially with the moon on Mars that day, in Leo, dramatic, emotional, let's go, I want to do this. And this is that Mars now, quincunx over to that Pluto that's starting to build. So there's a lot of power building up. But also, people's like determination becomes gargantuan. Sun trining Jupiter, Mars, quincunxing Pluto at the South Node. And so you also want to make sure that you're not afraid to take energy in. Like, not everything that's going to come in is going to make you have some alien baby. But you know, it's going to be pretty clear that what is, it will look very foreign and weird and offsetting and try and change your code or even maybe manipulate you into thinking that you're a bad person or manipulate. And that's what Pluto and Capricorn can do. Like, oh, you are out of line. Like, I'm just being me. I'm just like having fun. And so that's how you'll know. Rabbit on that day. Don't forget about that. Now, as we move to Friday the 2nd, we do have that finishing up of that Venus square Uranus energy at 6 degrees. And the sun reaches the second decan here of Leo. So we come into whole new energy. And so does Mars, reaches the 3rd decan of Leo. And Mars and Juno, oh man, Mars is just trying to catch Juno. So there's a lot of Mars-Juno energy here. And then the moon comes into Virgo. And this is positive because now we're going to start to see this beautiful waxing moon coming up, this beautiful like time to harvest our happiness. And we will have seen what was foreign, what was awesome, what was exciting. Venus square Uranus, I'm going to tell you, it's one or the other, like, and you'll get many others. It's jackpots and it's, you know, losing everything at the roulette table, like 00, sorry, oh, the whole table getting. It's like you knew in yourself you shouldn't have bet that, you know. And to be honest, this is just really good energy, except for this, you know, this Mars-Juno thing going to the quincunx to Pluto still. It's going to be a little funky, but I will show you here in a second. Mercury also coming to 24 degrees back onto the eclipse degree of where the lunar eclipse was on July 16th. So this could be bringing up a lot of energy that happened at that point and finally understanding some of those things. So go back into your calendars. What were you doing on July 16th? That Mercury is going to help you understand a lot there. Now it's time for us to go to the weekend, which is going to be Saturday. And the sun in Leo at 11 degrees. Looking good. It's within a 3-degree trine of Jupiter. The moon is going to oppose Neptune. So, and of course it'll make its T-square over to Jupiter, but it's going to be very quick. But I think this weekend is really about us starting to see the imaginative ways to bring our life into a beautiful, new, happier place. I think that we have the ability to. I don't think this is going to be a lackadaisical weekend. I think it's going to be a lot of energy, okay? Even though Neptune can kind of feel like, well, maybe I should kind of take it easy, but the moon in Virgo is like, come on, let's make something happen. Let's harvest. Like, you've had plenty of time. You're in retrograde. I'm not. I'm forward. I'm on the moon here. Let's get it done. Let's harvest. Definitely you don't want to waste the energy right now. I'm telling you folks, this is the best energy to come throughout the year. So projects, creation is extreme because once Venus is off this Uranus, and especially coming into this weekend, holy moly, look at that. Venus is on the butt of the sun. Oh my gosh. The sun doesn't mind Venus on its butt either. And so there's this connection starting to grow with projects, relationships, and creativity really powerfully in this Mars-Juno. Mars has now officially done the hump. It was a long time, so Mars kind of, have you ever seen cats when they make love and, kind of like, are they doing it or not? It's kind of how this Mars is on Juno. And don't be making no alien babies. But this is a beautiful energy this weekend. I'm going to be honest. I mean, it's like, there's not a lot here that's going to be like, oh gosh, okay, no, this is great. But that Mars, Juno, Pluto thing still building and this power coming back, and use this moon in Virgo to get it done. And this is already, just on Saturday. If we move to Sunday, oh man. Now Venus is at 9. So Venus is done with this opposition point to where the Mars retrograde happened. So we are moving so much energy, and even Mars now is at 21 degrees, now exactly to Pluto in quincunx on Sunday. So with the moon in Libra, this is going to be making great aspects over to Venus, great aspects over to the sun, and this is going to be making just this interesting aspect to the opposition to Chiron, with Venus also opposing that old spot. I think that this is going to be a moment of really finding some beauty and some power and some harmony in our lives, some reassessment that's really moving in a better direction. Mercury, again, still at that eclipse spot of 24 degrees where we had the lunar eclipse July 16th. So we're going to really be understanding what was changing over the last couple weeks and really putting that into fruition and really starting to see things move forward. We got that sun trining Jupiter. It's going to be going on throughout the weekend, and we're going to feel it more. Also, ironically enough, 21 degrees is where the sun and Venus will meet when the sun reaches 21 degrees 9 days from then. So, this 21 degree mark is pretty important, and this is definitely a very important spot, and Mars is setting the seeds. And Mars is also clearing any of the eclipses that were all there, and there's a lot being cleared here. And so this is a very good energy coming into this week, into this weekend. Just if you're watching this, well, this is live, so Tuesday, yeah. But Wednesday, remember Mercury goes direct Wednesday night. So for some people, it's going to be Thursday. Just putting that out there. As we move to Monday, look at this. That's what I'm saying. This is great energy. Usually I have to take a long time to get through these charts, but thank God. Now, if we come to Monday, it does get a little tense, but it's not too bad. There's support. The moon in Libra. So we want to connect, and especially as it's already connected with Venus, connected with the sun in Leo, there's a lot of positive about relationships and rebalancing our happiness and finding some peace and some love and some joy. But that moon's going to square over to Saturn and Pluto, and that moon is also, trying to figure out, okay, so there's a lot of joy and stuff, but let me look at the other side. What does Saturn and Pluto have to say? Oh, you need to be this one way only. Oh, you need to follow this rule, and you need to restrict yourself, and you need to make sure you don't put too much light out there. I want to eat you. It's a very opposite energy than Leo, So this moon in Libra this Monday is kind of going like, do I really want to fall victim to going, like, sure, we need to use Saturn and Pluto too. So it's kind of like, okay, yeah, we don't want to take just all this energy and just burn all the lights out and just, maybe we want to have a fuse, but that doesn't mean we're changing the code. We want to make sure that we use the power efficiently. That's what Saturn and Pluto want, not, though, efficiently to be used to feed another outside source other than yourself, of your true self and your true code. So, and relationships come up with that. Who are the people that you're around? Who's on the team? That's going to be a big one this weekend and into Monday. Who is on the team? And I say that because, with this moon in Libra, it's going to have these harsh squares. But this Leo energy, as the Sun and Venus are getting closer, and as Mars and Juno, and as all this energy is really starting to build up, who's on the team? And it's okay if you don't have to leave every person or something, but it's that's why they call warming the pine. in baseball, which is like being on the bench. It's okay to bench some people in your life for a moment. Doesn't mean you have to leave them or anything, but kind of, okay, maybe we're not vibing right now. Okay, let me put this to the side, but let me not put this energy. And if they're not going to show up anymore, then they bug off like a bug right now. But this is about who's on the team for peace and love and harmony and positivity this week. And anything in your life that is not part of that, like, you don't need to be a reptilian taking a crap on the shitter. Yelling, I need to get this done. You need out of my life, and I've got no toilet paper. Like, that is an ugly sight for real when we use this drama of Leo for negative. And we don't use the Libra beauty that is here to connect us to a better, more peaceful, more beautiful life right now, which is what we all have been desperately wanting. So this is it to where we can move into these realms, and it's a waxing sextile to the sun with the moon. So even though Saturn and Pluto are definitely hard, and the moon's going to square that, it's got the support of Mars to say, hey, come on, Libra, because remember, Libra can take two sides and almost like, typical Venus energy, like, well, hold on, they want me and they want me, where do I go? And it's like, hold on one second, the sun in Leo is going to win this one with Venus and with Mars and with Juno, and be like, hey, Venus, don't you like to express yourself out of a clam, out of the water, and show your beauty and show your love and all your peace? Not be hanging out with some reptilian guy on a bathtub or in a bathroom right now that's taking a shit and yelling at you? Oh yeah, okay. And that's how you'll know, is if the energy starts to build up coming into Monday and people are all like, it'll be like, okay, come on, let's go. Let's go over here to the positive, happy space. And you can't allow yourself to get caught up into this weird energy of like, I have to sacrifice my own life and my own code of my true self to please some energy that's just taking from me and stripping me down and telling me what not to be. It's interesting, this weekend, of course, this was my third time in the last, 5 months seeing Pink Floyd, the experience at the Wisdom, where they do it with a 360-degree dome and they do all these crazy visualizations, and it's amazing. And the whole point of the understanding of the wall is totally this Pluto-Saturn thing in Capricorn, which is this judgment of people and how they live their lives, and especially whether they go through their experiences of desires and wants and everything, and how you are judged, and how everybody is, this world has all these walls that are just closing in on everybody of what not to be, and if you do this too much, and if you look out the window this way. I mean, we're going to get to a place in life where people are going to like look out the window and be like, you looked at me at the window that way, I'm calling the police. It's like, I just looked at you to smile. You didn't even get a millisecond to the smile. And the whole part of the wall is tear down the wall. We got to tear down these walls that are happening. And people get obsessed when it comes to the government and walls. And it's not even about that right now. It's about these internal collective walls that are blocking humanity to come together. And everybody thinks that humanity comes together through Aquarius, but I'm sorry to say, it's Leo first. Your individual code has to be known, and you have to express that light. Like if you look at a television, LEDs, or if you know the new TVs in the last 3 years, is called OLED, organic LED light. Independent lights coming together with their own organic vibration that make the blacks perfect black, that make the colors the perfect color. Because when it's individually its own light, and it then comes and becomes the source of that unique dot of information, that's how you get the whole picture. Aquarius is the understanding of how to bring all those energies that are unique together. But Leo is the understanding of what your uniqueness is by understanding it through love, that it is your own unique love first. And this is a time where we are not going to have this Sun-Jupiter stuff coming into next week, and Venus-Jupiter, and oh my gosh, yes, and Mars and Leo, 2 years. Mars in Leo, and guess what? When Mars comes into Leo 2 years from now, Saturn will be in Aquarius in opposition to it. So, this is why I'm trying to get people to think deep about astrology and get out of this, oh, okay, so my co-star app says today that I'm doing this. Like, come on. Break out of that wall. Maybe your day is not horrible in work and love or whatever. Throw that shit out the window, because you have to understand that right now, this is amazing. This is life. This is light. This is life force at its amazingness, but you got to be able to do it within yourself. And that Mercury finally comes over, if you see here real quick on that Monday, at 25 degrees, Mercury will be on Monday, and that will be out of the eclipse 24th degree that happened on July 16th. So we definitely enter into Monday with what connections do we have? What brightness do we have? And if we're going to get to this new universe, I'm going to have to draw it really quick, and then we'll be done. And we got after dark. So imagine here we are, and we're in this universe. Hi. And now there's this new universe that's being built, okay? A higher level. Because with Uranus, okay, like, you got to remember that there's this point to where it's about ascension and rising higher. So in order for us to rise higher into this new thing, we need to be that unique code of who we are, which is why when you look at Uranus, it looks like a unique code, okay? It looks like it. It's unique, but it has the duality and the centristic aspect that connects the uniqueness of the duality of who you are into one, and then projects that as a rod, like a rod of electricity, to the reality. And in Hinduism, when you have your head, and the reason why that they say that humans get all these conscious downloads is because we stand up straight. Where animals, and I'm not trying to say that animals are not conscious or don't have souls or anything like that, because I'm not into that. Trust me, my cat probably is smarter than I am. But, both of them. But there is something to say about this standing up straight thing, and how we do receive the energies from the universe down, but we also have to put out that energy back. So how are we going to get the message through with Uranus and Taurus of our value, our worth, our love, if we are going to be connected to energies that take away from our code? Because these doorways right here, if we get real close, as close as I can get, to get through there, it is already ready, because it is from God, that we have to get through by staying in that unique code. We can't adjust that code and be like, well, this person wants me to be this way, and they're asking me to do this, so I'm going to turn my code over this way and then that way, and then you know what, you're not going to fit in there. That's not what God's ready for this universe that's coming up. And so a lot of people are scared. A lot of people hit me up. They're terrified over this big eclipse cycle that's coming here. And they have every right to be. It is going to be a gnarly one. It is a wall. But do we really have to be afraid of it? The simple way of getting through anything in life is to raise the vibration. And that's why we built High Vibe here. And that's why this is the most high vibe moments that are here right now. But you cannot adjust your vibration against yourself. So in the spiritual community, we talk about raising your vibration so much about what you need to change. I'm here to tell you that actually what you need to change is getting back to who you are, because based off the astrology of the last decade, it has been everything that has brought you to so many different versions of the code that you are, that is finally that it is about understanding what is the most valuable and getting back to the original code and getting back into your real self, getting back grounded down on this earth and being like, this is me, bam, go. This is fixed energy. This is Leo and Taurus. This is fixed. And this is all this dignified energy, and we're not going to see this again, folks. We're not. Next year, sure, when the sun's in Leo, yeah, we'll see it, but Jupiter will be in fall. And so, the sun and Jupiter work together in harmony to bring a lot of life force, and this is it. Use this. And that's why I'm saying there's no, whatever, you want to call it Lionsgate, call it Lionsgate. They already make a production company called Lionsgate. So how about you call this the unique code of your own amazing self and love and the high vibration of that. And the only thing that you need to change is disconnecting from the things that take you away from that true, sovereign, beautiful heart space. And if you don't know how to be in that mirror, I'm bringing it back, and look in that mirror and go, this doesn't feel like me. I'm not excited. I'm not, Taurus does deal with physical aspects. What can you do to raise your physical vibration of how you feel about yourself, how you look, what you wear? Taurus is clothes. Taurus is how we project our physical reality physically. So maybe this is a time for you to feel happier by doing something. Even if you do got to go to, your old closet and take out your scissors and cut something and do something crazy with Uranus. I don't know. Maybe do your hair a little different. Maybe have an alien baby. No, don't do that. So I end with, don't mess this up because it's just too good. And you're going to realize that life has ups and downs. Life has moments of happiness, and then it's just a crazy roller coaster. And to appreciate these moments. And to be honest with you, God does not put us through challenges, and especially the hardest ones we've been through this year and even last year, without giving us a beautiful moment to experience love and happiness and greatness and to become abundant with that. And that's what these weeks are going to be, and this week begins that. And don't forget about that. And thank God. Be grateful this week for you. Be grateful for how unique you are. Be grateful for how love and passionate you are about yourself. Go look in that mirror and say thank you to yourself for being you. But if you have trouble saying that, then there's something that you're connected to with that Uranus energy. Is there an alien baby in there? Make sure you check out highvibe.tv. The best way to support this show by being free, of course, is by checking us out. You can get our apps on Apple, on Apple TV, on the iPhone, and on Android, and of course, the website, highvibe.tv, which is awesome, even on your mobile device. I use actually the mobile device more than I use the app. But you can check out our free content there. We got a lot of cool stuff going on. And of course, to help support this show by being free, to do this show, to bring out this energy to others, I truly ask for you to help share High Vibe, share this video, give this video out to as many people as you can. It's a gift to all of you and my love for you all. And if you want to ever support to keep this together, you can just buy a daily horoscope or just be part of the subscription. It's just the price of a smoothie a month. So thank you so much for all the support. We got After Dark coming next, and I love you all very much. And I am sending you all my Leo energy, and I can guarantee you I will be having no alien babies, and I will guarantee you, if you follow this code and you understand that code of yourself, that you will not be having a weird alien baby, and you won't have to go through that experience. Love you all. Later.